And, Coach, we come at you from the shores of Lake Erie. EA Sports has the coverage of the NFL from First Energy Stadium here in Cleveland, Ohio. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. Now the Georgia Southern man, it's Matt Breida. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Play action. It's Newton. Looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. And the play goes for 19 yards. Gives him a new set of downs. Now the first running back drafted this year, it's Saquon Barkley. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
And he held on to it, but he probably shouldn't have as they get him behind the line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Newton out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. It'll be a gain of 4. And it'll be 4th down. Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on 4th down. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. Here's Jackson. That'll be a 10-yard return following a punt of 45. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. They'll run for the first time with Johnson. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Play 20!
Now Brady throwing on 2nd down. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Big O.J. Howard, his intended target. And now it's 3rd down.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
Here's Brady to throw. Trying to force it to Allen, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 24. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. So call off the pick six.
Everything looked right. It looked like it was in their favor. Returned it for a touchdown, as you just described. But instead, the penalty for interference nullifies everything.
A first down carry here for Johnson. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28.
Well, we saw him there trying to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Wait 20! Wait 20!
Play action. Now it's Brady. He's going to look for Allen now on the deep ball. And that one was nearly picked. Not sure he was accounting for the free safety. Now it brings up third down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked up by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. On 2nd down, here's Newton. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. Gave a glimpse of his power that time. And then brought down at the 30. They get 7 there on the screen. It'll set up a third down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
They had great starting position to begin the drive, but now they look up at a 3rd and 5. Out of the gun, Newton. And right side, Henry's got it. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. The partner, just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season, the playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early. But if there's that special one there, I say they go get him.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. On 2nd down, Johnson. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. That's going to be a 6-yard gain. It leaves him with 3rd down and just a yard to go. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down. On 4th down, here's the veteran Shane Leckler to punt it away. Back deep, Jakeem Grant. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the game.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Now Newton. And he whips that one incomplete there.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. They'll get 14 on that one. Good for a Bengal 1st down.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up 1st downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. After the run, Newton going to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, 2nd down. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this 1st half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
On 2nd and 10, Newton. Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out. And I think the Browns got it. They did.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, it's going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
Now after the fumble recovery, it's Brady. Out to his left. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. A gain of 4 on the play, and that'll make this a 2nd down.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ike's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield. He can't get away, and Brady will go down. Michael Brockers in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long.
Sugar!
On 3rd and long, it's Brady. Flush to his right. And this is going to be incomplete.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up 1st downs. So far, 0 for 3 on 3rd down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
And Lutz puts this one through. And that will tie us at 3-3. So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of the short field.
Definitely a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in prime position to put 6 on the board. Ended up settling for 3.
Jakeem Grant now to return. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punching the end zone without turning it over.
And they finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 34. A big hitter. That one goes for 40 yards. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. They keep it with Barkley on 1st down. And he'll be taken down at the 34. Tyrone Crawford in on the tackle.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
To throw on 2nd down is Newton. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Now, Bengals on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 16. Going to give this time to the tailback. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down. So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. This from 54 yards away. And Walsh able to convert it as his kick is good. And they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals at 6-3. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Throwing on 1st down is Brady. Out to the left there and complete to Howard. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 6 yards on the pickup, and just like that, it's 3rd down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Brady going to try and throw on 3rd down. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. 1:59 to go in the 1st half. Here's Shane Leckler now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On first down, Newton. And his throw is incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Hunter Henry. And now it's second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
On second down, here's Barkley. And able to use his blockers to get this up over the 40. Second down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now. Back to throw, Newton. It's complete to Grant. A really good pickup of 28 yards. We often, with Cam Newton, talk a lot about his legs. Don't forget about that arm.
He can throw it on a rope. He can loft it. He's got the touch that's been developed throughout his career. But the big part about just watching him throw it, it seems almost effortless.
A first down carry for Barkley, and he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stop that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the second quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. Might have to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
Black 80.
On third down, Barkley, and he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. And now a timeout called defensively by the Browns as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. And Walsh able to convert it as his kick is good. And they continue to lead in the battle of field goals here. It's now 9-3. Still a little bit of time left here in the second quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that. And we haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
Here comes the Browns offense back onto the field. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
He's going to air one out. And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way down to the 29. So with the pass being completed, they'll go ahead and take that instead.
Nothing extra to be gained. Pass interference at the spot, completed the pass. That was your play. So he might as well have not even had the penalty.
So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. Made his first. This now from 46 yards away. And Lutz's kick is good. And that trims the lead to 3. It's 9-6 now. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
And they're going to have really good starting field position here as that's taken up close to the 40. So we have reached halftime here, and it's the visiting Bengals out in front. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, Green to bring it back. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Here's the Browns offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half two, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They've talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there.
A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked by Kevon Seymour, and they will take over at the 26-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. It was the linebacker Leonard Floyd on the stop.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
They'll go to Barkley again. Give him 3 yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
The pitch goes to Barkley. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. He makes a wonderful play there off the corner, protecting his side of the field.
Oh, that reminds me of the great defenses of old, doesn't it? The Pittsburgh Steelers, Steel Curtain. They would not let you get on the field if you could only do one thing. You had to be a complete guy, and you had to be able to tackle.
Now, I know I've said this before, but you know I wasn't alive when the Steel Curtain was playing. I know them, but I just want to let you know I wasn't alive.
I'm going to keep peppering that in there, and one of these days you're going to think that you were.
Here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. With it is Jackson. Oh, at a 360. 6-yard return after a punt of 48. And out will come the offense as they take over. And the Browns getting set to go. And last time, 1-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in it, and let him fling another one.
And Brady's throw there, incomplete. From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Hasn't had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that'll make it 2nd and 12. Shotgun now for Brady. Dumping it off for Johnson. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down. Now Brady. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Here's a give to Barkley. And he'll take this up to about the 7 or 8 yard line. It's the Pro Bowler Jamie Collins that makes the stop.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Newton now to throw. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Grant. And he gets this one just shy of the 35 to the 34. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he? I
think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Here's Newton now on second down. And this is Latimer, complete. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Looking to throw on second down. Newton able to push his way through and caught by Henry. And he gets it down to the 32. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for third down.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
3rd and 2, Newton. He's got a first down and much more inside the 20. And all the way down to the 17-yard line. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first.
So how do you beat man coverage? First of all, you want to be a superior receiver, but you know something, that guy who's covering you, he's usually pretty good too. So the corner route is usually a great spot to get it done.
Newton now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. They go back to the ground now with Barkley. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. And we're back now here in Cleveland. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get... Again, it's Barkley. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. They come out here in the eye. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get the push they needed. So 2nd and goal, and standing by himself in the backfield, Barkley. Barkley will try to punch it in, and he is in. Touchdown, Bengals. Saquon Barkley with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Bengals are able to grow their lead.
And that touchdown ends a streak, for lack of a better word, of 3 field goals that they put on the board previously. They finally cracked the code.
Yeah, they've been down there. They've been in enemy territory, as you said. They just hadn't been able to punch it in until that point. Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. And they will not get a chance to return this one, as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now the Browns coming out on the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists in their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Brady to throw on 2nd down. And he'll find Sutton on the right side, complete. And they've got it well across midfield, down to the 40 before it's all said and done. A very solid gain of 27. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind, with him running the team, that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
That throw by Brady incomplete. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Brady again here on 2nd and 10. Connects it to Roberts, right side. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. Again, it's Brady. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there. First time they've looked his way in this game. He comes through, picking up the 1st. Brady now. A perfect 8 for 8 to start the 2nd half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Now Brady again. Roberts has it. Open space inside the 10. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Seth Roberts, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Browns are back within a score. Lutz good on the extra point. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. Lutz now to kick this one away. The return man is Grant. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. A little less than 4 minutes remaining, and the margin for error is small with this slim lead. Operate within your 4-minute offense here, Charles?
Definitely. Remember, the 4-minute offense doesn't always correspond to what's up on the clock. What they need to do is play a little bit of keep away right now. Run the clock down. Make sure their opponent doesn't get the ball back. Their dream scenario, get enough first downs and make them eat up their timeouts so the game ends when you're kneeling down with the football.
And he'll be tackled at about the 35. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down. They'll run it again with Barkley. Room to run past midfield. And finally taken down at the 44-yard line. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. A handoff to Barkley. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play as we have reached the 2-minute warning. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10. Now Saquon Barkley. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. Now this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here.
180.
Barkley. And an alley to run. Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Saquon Barkley with now 2 4th-quarter touchdowns. And the Bengals add on to their lead.
Well, it'd be real easy to say now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside at 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the Browns offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that, they had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Now Brady. Escaping the pressure right. He's going to let it fly. It's caught inside the 25. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Keenan Allen, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Browns have cut it back within a score.
No, we're not cheering. No, we're not rooting, but I am excited about this. I know you are, too. We got a ball game again after that big-time strike.
Big-time strike, and you are right. Don't go anywhere yet. This thing's not done. So just over 90 seconds to play, and this would figure to be about as critical as it gets here. And this is going to be snuffed out. The Bengals recover. And now looking at the clock here, they do have 2 timeouts, but even if they force a 3-and-out, they're going to have very little time remaining.
So that means they've got to be aggressive and find a way to knock the ball free. They've got to come up with it because they can't just rely, as you noted, on using their timeouts and getting the ball back. They might not have any time to mount an attack, even if they do play it that way. Get the football. That's their mantra.
Now it's Barkley. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play. It'll be second down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Here we go. Grand 38. Grand 38.
There he goes inside the 30. And finally taken down at the 20-yard line. A big pickup there, and without question, that should be more than enough to wrap this one up. This defense, Charles, they have unraveled here in the fourth.
In a sense, it's like they're being pressed, like in a basketball game, and they just can't get the ball over half court. I mean, no matter what they do, they can't get off the field. They can't slow them down. They're just going up and down the field against them. Yeah, unraveling would be a perfect word for them.
That's it. 180.
This is Barkley. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Now a final chance to stop it here as a timeout comes in with 10 seconds left in the game.
Set. Grand 88.
The Bengals go down to a knee in the victory formation. And now here comes their final timeout as they take it with 8 ticks remaining. And they will take a knee here. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for Cincinnati, it's a big win here as they move to 11-4 now on the year. And they'll get another road date next week as they're
You